Good evening. 9 people have so far been arrested and charged with serious offences since last month's programme. Detectives from all around the country are hoping that you'll be equally successful tonight in spotting clues and recognising familiar faces.
And tonight we have reconstructions from Scotland, from Cheshire and South Wales. The disappearance of a woman from a village near Dundee, armed robbers who attacked a farm near Knutsford, and 2 con men who are preying on old people in Cardiff.
Let's start with rather disappointing news. If you saw last month's programme, you'll remember the tragic story of Rachel Partridge. One Tuesday night in August, Rachel hitchhiked from Tame in Oxfordshire to her home at Chinner Hill. Her body was found next morning in a barn at Bledlow Ridge. And we had an enormous response, but so far with little practical effect, frankly. No one recognised the man seen near the barn, and police have asked us to appeal again to a woman who apparently rang from High Wycombe saying she'd also been attacked, perhaps by the same man. Her information could be crucial. Please ring again and give your name. Here's the number, 01811 8055.
The Hertfordshire police were very pleased with the response to our reconstruction of a £250,000 fraud. Stolen documents were used to purchase foreign currency, but the voice of one of the fraudsters was recorded on tape.
Hello, yes, my name is John Bailey, Director and Secretary of Wilmot. I want to buy German marks.
Well, as a result of broadcasting that last month, police are now following a number of new leads, and we'll let you know what happens next.
We also reconstructed an audacious series of crimes in which thieves surreptitiously drained oil from cars, then offered to repair them.
I won't need the house keys, just the car key.
Okay.
150 viewers called with information and 3 reported attempted thefts by the same team. Others gave detectives new evidence about how stolen cars, principally Mercedes like that one, are being shipped abroad.
And we also showed how stolen cars are given new identities with chassis numbers taken from wrecked cars of the same make. It's known as ringing. And one viewer called to say he'd seen a wrecked car near his home and then just hours later saw what looked like the same car again on the road running as good as new. The police checked out the details and a man has been arrested as a result of that call.
Several viewers recognised a picture taken by a security camera during a raid on a London building society. As a result, a man has been charged with 9 robberies and 4 attempted robberies. And another man has been charged with assaulting 2 girls in Merseyside. The crucial information came from a police officer 80 miles away in the Midlands. He realised that our Crimewatch video fit bore a resemblance to a man that he'd just arrested for a sexual assault in Birmingham. The man is now expected to be charged with a total of 6 offences.
Well, finally, 6 people have been arrested as a direct result of a reconstruction we showed in July. A number of bank drafts had been stolen while in transit through Heathrow Airport, and these were used to buy gold bullion, paintings and other goods. Some of the property has now been recovered. The 6 people have been charged with conspiracy and inquiries are continuing.
The first of this month's reconstructions is a case that's been headline news in Scotland, the disappearance of Lynda Hunter. Some stories have associated Lynda with the missing London estate agent Susie Lamplugh, but police have no reason to link the 2 women, except that they're both missing. Maybe in Lynda's case, it's a mystery that you can help resolve. The story starts near the Hunters' home, Knutsford, 12 miles from Dundee. Thursday, August the 20th. Every day, Lynda Hunter drove to the golf course to exercise her dog, Shep, on the nearby beach. Lynda was generally in high spirits. She'd just discovered she was pregnant. She worked at a residential home for the elderly in Dundee, but she and Shep were inseparable. She always took him with her. Though only 30, Lynda was second in charge of the home, a job that frequently involved working nights. At 6:30 that Thursday evening, Lynda phoned her mother.
I'm all right, but I'm feeling a bit sick.
She was devoted to her parents, who were both unwell, and she phoned them almost every other day.
Yeah, bye.
Lynda and her husband both had that Friday off, but Lynda had early morning sickness and stayed in bed.
precisely 8 o'clock on Friday the 21st of August.
Her husband gave breakfast to his son and a friend who'd stayed the night.
There's your breakfast.
Day of killing. A team of specialist social workers...
Shame you lost in the match last night, eh?
...helped the bereaved. The funeral of Rudolf Hess has been delayed while his relatives consider requesting a second autopsy.
At 8:20, the two boys left to catch the bus to school.
Bye-bye.
At about 10, Andrew drove Lynda to the chemist's.
Good morning.
Oh, good morning. I'm 6 weeks pregnant and I've been suffering very badly from morning sickness. I wonder if you had anything to help me.
How long is it lasting?
Oh, it seems to go on all day.
In that case, I don't think that there's anything that I could recommend that would help you. I'd suggest that you go and see your doctor.
Really?
I'm sorry.
Okay, thanks.
Bye.
Lynda went round the corner to the health centre and asked for a prescription from her doctor.
Well, actually, Dr. McKendrick isn't in the health centre at the moment. I'll speak to him when he comes in and ask him, but he may want you to make an appointment. Would you call back just after 11 o'clock and I'll have seen him by then?
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Frustrated by all this, and by now feeling ill and irritable, Lynda went home with Andrew. For some reason, she began to pack the bag she used for her night shifts, though she wasn't due at work until the following afternoon. Maybe she was going to her parents.
I'm going out. You can pick up the car from work tomorrow at 3.
Well, I did need the car, Lynda. But if you're going to Dundee, you could give me a lift.
If you're ready now, then come. If not, you can get the bus.
Come on, chap.
Well, just give us a minute, I'll go get my files.
Neither Lynda nor Shep have been seen since. Lynda often did stay with her parents, and they lived in Glenrothes, but they weren't expecting her. At any rate, Lynda's car, with or without her at the wheel, almost certainly took one of these routes south. It was discovered next day in central Manchester. Dale Street, behind Piccadilly Station. Just after 9 a.m. on Saturday the 22nd, a traffic warden gave Lynda's Cavalier a parking ticket. Next day, at 6:15 on Sunday evening, a policeman noticed the car had been broken into and the radio cassette was missing.
7411 to CK Alpha 1. A vehicle check, please, on Delta 266 Charlie Echo Sierra.
You check on Delta 266 Charlie Echo Sierra shows to a Vauxhall Cavalier in white, registered to Lynda Kearns, could be using the name Hunter. I've got an entry by Tayside Police, missing from home.
When police examined the car, they found suggestions that Lynda had not been the last driver. The driver's seat had been adjusted for someone much taller than Lynda. Lynda's bags had been left in the back, along with tablets for Shep, who had a heart and bladder condition. But her money, about £30, and 3 credit cards, were gone. One of her earrings was found lying in the boot. The grey covers that had been on all the seats had been removed from the front. And the floor mat on the passenger side was missing. Both the tools and the spare wheel seemed to have disappeared. In fact, the wheel had been fitted to the front offside. So where were the tools and the other wheel and tyre? It was a distinctive Antibes Cavalier. Somewhere between Carnoustie and Manchester, between Friday and Saturday mornings, that wheel had been changed. But where and by whom? Leslie Liney, it seemed logical that whoever took off the seat covers and took the mat away from the floor was doing so to make sure there were no forensic clues left behind.
This is certainly a very strong possibility.
I know that technically you are not investigating a crime, but you must be fairly pessimistic about the chances of finding Lynda.
We're very concerned for Lynda's safety, and I would certainly appeal to Lynda, if she should be watching this programme, to please contact us.
Do you think there is a faint possibility she might still be alive?
A remote possibility, I think.
Now, her dog, of course, is also missing. Live or dead, may have been found. He's quite an old dog, 14 years or so.
Yes, the dog's 14 years old. It's a cross collie. It has several distinctive features. All 4 feet are white. The dog has been neutered, and there is a small operation scar on the right haunch.
Now, it also had a heart and bladder condition, didn't it?
Yes.
That's hence the pills. Maybe a vet has got some information about that. But it's only that very distinctive dog with that scar on the right back leg that we're interested in. Also, of course, there might be witnesses to the drive down, because that car, D266CES, had a puncture, by the looks of it.
Yes, we would be very interested in anybody who may have seen the car between Carnoustie and Manchester on the 22nd of August of this year.
It's quite a distinctive car. Incidentally, if anybody's found that tyre, the tyre itself, I know it's an MXL radial. Anybody in the tyre business would know that's very rare, and it's obviously very rare to find one attached to a wheel somewhere.
It's unusual, and it's unusual insofar as Vauxhall fitted it to that particular model, the Antibes, which there was only 2,625, I believe, produced. I think it would be most unusual to find that wheel and tyre lying by the roadside.
Well, the best hope, perhaps, is that someone has found some of that material discarded from the car. Whatever information you have, do call us if you can help in any way. 01811 8055. That's 01811 8055. You can speak to a BBC researcher or to a detective, all in the strictest confidence. If you prefer, you can call the incident room at Dundee. That's 0382 232 00. That's 0382, the code for Dundee, 232 00.
Well, now to Incident Desk, and tonight a hit and run in Merseyside, a series of armed raids in Cumbria, and the search for a conman in the southwest of England. Here are Superintendent David Hatcher and Constable Helen Phelps.
We'd like your help to solve the murder of 37-year-old Elsa Hannaway in the Moss Side area of Manchester early on the 30th of October. After an evening out, Mrs. Hannaway was seen outside the West Indian Community Centre in Westwood Road at 1:15 a.m. But from then until about 2:30 a.m, where she went is unclear, and Manchester police are very anxious to find out about her movements during that time. Around 2:30 a.m, a couple in a car saw a man attacking a woman just inside the entrance to Whitworth Park in Moss Lane East. This is a video fit of him. He's in his 20s and wears his hair in dreadlocks. That night he had on a red, green and yellow striped woolly hat. At 3:10 a.m, a similar man was seen running out of the park and down Hathersage Road. Mrs. Hannaway was later found in the park, suffering from head injuries and hypothermia. She'd also been raped and died in hospital that day. Near the spot where Mrs. Hannaway was discovered, police found this watch. It's a seconda and it has a broken silver strap. And missing from Elsa's wrist was a thin gold chain. Look at this face again. There is a £500 reward from the local West Indian community for information leading to an arrest.
Shortly after 1 a.m. on Saturday the 10th of October, 31-year-old Daniel Callahan was knocked off his bicycle on the A506 Kirby to Ormskirk Road in Merseyside. He was killed instantly, but the driver of the car did not stop. However, particles of red paint as small as this were found on Daniel's clothes. If it's the car's original colour, it's one of 2 types. Most probably it was a Volvo 340 or 360 model in signal red and manufactured since 1984. Or it could be one of these Jaguars, the XJS, XJ6 or 12 models in Sebring red and made between 1981 and 1983. And tiny glass particles indicate that the car's windscreen was most probably damaged in the collision. Now, if you know of a red car similar to these with damage to the front bumper, bonnet and windscreen, please ring us now.
We'd like to talk to this man about 6 building society robberies in the southeast area of London. He is seen here in the Anglia Building Society in Bexley Heath in April this year. He threatened staff with what we believe is a gun carried in that white plastic bag and got away with nearly £2,000. He's about 25, 5'9" tall, slim build with dark brown hair. He has robbed 3 other building societies and so far he's got away with nearly £6,000. Give us a call if you know him. There is a reward for information leading to arrest and conviction.
Next, an armed robber who's been operating in Cumbria. Here he is in a building society in Carlisle on the 7th of July. He may be one of the two men who've taken over £24,000 in 6 similar raids in Penrith, Preston, Workington and Carlisle. This video was taken from inside a toy shop as the man hurried away from the building society in Workington. These artists' impressions were done by witnesses to 2 of the raids, and they appear to be quite similar. But this one could be the second man. So call us if you know them. There's a reward of £10,000 for information leading to a conviction.
This is the face of a con man operating throughout the southwest. He calls himself Peter Davis or John Carr, and over the past year he's been obtaining credit from chain stores by using a false AA membership card as proof of identity. To date he's committed some 25 offences amounting to about £54,000 in all, and in towns as far apart as Penzance and Bristol. As Peter Davis, he gives either a home address in Burris near Helston in Cornwall or that of a false company, Alpha Electronics in Exeter. As John Carr, he gives an address in Torpoint, Cornwall. If you recognise him, please get in touch.
The number to call is 01811 8055. That's 01811 8055.
Well, next tonight, a tale that's all too commonplace. Con men posing as officials in order to gain entrance to people's houses and commit an easy burglary. Thousands of this type of case are reported every year. But the thieves in this case, we're about to show you, posed as waterboard officials, and they've been operating in South Wales around the Cardiff area. They choose easy targets, vulnerable elderly people who live on their own. In our reconstruction, our victims are played by actresses, and we've changed the names to protect their identities. The first 2 live in the Whitchurch area of Cardiff. It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday the 26th of September. 84-year-old Gwyneth Maxwell was returning home after a holiday in Torquay.
Well, there's nothing been happening here much. The weather's been so cold.
20 minutes after she got home, a neighbour called round for a cup of tea.
They kept fine for us. Oh, I'm so pleased. Because you needed a break.
Yes?
I'm sorry to trouble you, but there's a burst water pipe just up the road.
Well, there's nothing I can do about it.
Well, the thing is, I've been told to come and check the water to make sure it's not contaminated.
There's nothing wrong with the water.
Well, I've got to check it. Well, it seems all right, but I better check the water in the kitchen. Well, I'll just check the taps. The water's fine. I'll be on the way now.
Both women thought the man's behaviour very suspicious, and they watched to see where he went. But it wasn't until there was a similar incident 19 days later that they reported the matter to the police. Just a few doors away, on Thursday the 15th of October, at about 2:30, 79-year-old Avril Jones was taking her rubbish out. 20 minutes later, she received a visit from someone who said the water pipes in the road were faulty.
Can you press down on the cold water tap as firmly as possible?
Yes.
Whilst I go upstairs and check the bathroom. Here, use this cloth.
All right.
Now, you'll hear some bumping and banging, but eventually the water will come out muddy.
What's going on up there? What's going on out here? Who's he?
Now, it's all right. He's with me. Now, what time does your husband get home?
Well, I can't say. But if it's anything to do with the pipes, you put a note through the letterbox.
I'll do that.
Realising she'd been conned, she phoned the water board, too late. But she was lucky. The men found nothing of value and had left empty-handed. But like many old people, Mrs. Jones was too shaken to give police a good description of the bogus officials. However, house-to-house inquiries revealed the visit of 19 days earlier, and Gwyneth Maxwell was able to help police build an identikit picture of the man who'd called on her.
How's that?
Absolutely.
8 days later, October the 23rd, in the Cathays district of Cardiff. At about 1:30, 86-year-old Louise Thomas was returning home from the post office. She, like all the victims, lives on her own.
I'm sorry to disturb you, but there's been a gas explosion, and I've come to check your water.
Oh, well,
Kitchen this way?
yes. All right.
I've just got to check the purity. Can I have a glass of your water, please?
Oh, yes, all right. You are.
Looks all right. Better test it. It's okay. Nothing to worry about. Do you live here on your own?
Yes.
I'm from a family of 15 myself, so I'm used to a large family. You're a Cardiff girl, are you?
Yes. I've lived here all my life.
You're here on your own? No, it's fine. Nothing to worry about. I'll be on my way now.
Good.
In just a few minutes, the burglars had got away with more than £3,000. But it was 2 hours before Miss Thomas realised what had happened, that her savings were gone. 15 miles north of Cardiff, on the A470, is the expressway service station. On the afternoon that burglary happened, witnesses remember that this car broke down there and was abandoned by 3 men. A routine police inspection a few days later revealed the missing handbag. Documents belonging to Miss Thomas were still inside, but the money, of course, was missing. Well, Detective Chief Inspector Alan Buck is investigating the case, and just about an hour ago you had another report of a very similar incident, didn't you?
Yes, at 3:30 this afternoon, a similar incident occurred in Kidwelly in the Dyfed-Powys police area when £1,500 was stolen from an elderly couple.
So you think it could be the same people?
They could well be the same people, yes.
Right. Perhaps we could have a closer look at the identikit picture that we saw Gwyneth Maxwell helping you with.
The description is of a man in his early 20s, about 5'9" tall. He spoke with a polite voice and an Irish accent, and he had very neat, fair hair.
And the Irish accent is consistent to all the witnesses' descriptions, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Now, while we were actually filming our reconstruction at the service station, several more witnesses came forward.
They did indeed. They had seen 3 men. Again, these 3 spoke with Irish accents, in fact spoke in Gaelic, leaving the scene.
Right. Now, the biggest and best clue, of course, is the car, the white Ford Granada, and that was bought on Wednesday the 21st of October, here's the receipt from it, at an auction in West Bromwich.
That's right. It was bought in West Bromwich, and the person buying it gave a Wolverhampton address. What we'd like to know is where the vehicle was from the 21st to the 23rd. We'd like to know if anybody saw the people abandoning the car on the A470. Did anyone give them a lift? Where did they stay overnight on the Friday, Saturday? They certainly came back on the Saturday evening. Did anyone give them a lift back there? We need to know where those men were.
Right. Now, one clue was left inside the car. It's rather interesting. Some acne cream.
Yes, that acne cream was found on the back seat of the car, and it was bought from a chemist in Blackpool.
So there may be a Blackpool connection there.
Indeed there may.
Right. Now, these men, of course, might well have visited other people, either in the Cardiff area or even a wider area, and not been successful.
We think that's almost certain, and we would ask the public, in Cardiff particularly, to phone the local police station if they've had a visit from water board officials in the last few months where they've been in any way suspicious.
Right, well, for the moment, thank you very much indeed. And do call if you can help. The number is, as usual, 01811 8055, or you can call the Cardiff Police direct on 0222 398 381. That's 0222, the code for Cardiff, 398 381. Now, robberies on old people are especially cowardly and callous, but in fact, crime against the elderly is rare, and whatever your age or circumstances, there are just a few basic common sense things we can do to protect ourselves against con men.
First, don't keep large amounts of cash in the house. Use a bank or building society, or put it in the post office. Second, never open the door to strangers if you're unsure of them.
Who is it? Who's there?
Welsh water.
It's most important to have a chain. That way you're not vulnerable once the door is unlatched.
From the water board, madam.
Door chains give you real security.
Can I see your identification?
Yes.
But even then, ask for proof of who they are. And check. If possible, look up the phone numbers in the telephone directory to make sure they're the real ones.
Would you confirm that you have an inspector working in this area? I live at Castlefield Place. The name, Mr. R.W. Thomas.
So if you're worried, don't open the door, unless you're sure.
And I think it's important to stress that no genuine caller is going to object to you asking them to leave for the moment and telling them that you'll phone their headquarters, their firm or their company to make an appointment at a more convenient time to you, and perhaps have somebody there with you when they come back. Alan Buck, have you got something to add to that yourself?
Yes, if people want any crime prevention advice, they can of course always call or phone their local police station and speak to the crime prevention officer. Their advice is free. They may prefer to ring organisations such as Help the Aged, Age Concern, and in Cardiff the Victim Support Scheme would be also very willing to help.
Right, and the crime prevention officer will advise on all these and any grant schemes that might help you with any costs for equipment you might need.
That's right, Sue, yes.
Right, thank you very much indeed. Nick.
I'm not sure if you can see from the scene behind me, but all the lines here are busy at the moment, all 40 lines into the studio. Please persevere if you're trying to get through. There's been a considerable number of calls on pretty much all the cases that we've dealt with. Already one man is thought to be in custody on one case. We'll bring you more news of that later on. We move now to another crime that's aimed at individuals in their homes. It took place at an isolated farmhouse, but even so the robbers managed to attract quite a lot of attention to themselves. The victims were two women, one of whom was expecting a baby in just a few days' time. Neither was physically hurt, but the gang was armed with a shotgun, and the whole neighbourhood and the police want your help to find the men responsible. The attack took place near Knutsford in Cheshire, but our reconstruction begins at Stockport on the southern fringe of Manchester. The date, Wednesday, October the 14th. 10 to 12 on Wednesday morning at Brighton Road Industrial Estate. Brian Mottishead, a warehouseman, had gone for lunch. at 11 a.m., 6 days later, Tuesday the 20th of October. This farmhouse is 4 miles from the nearest main road.
Kathy? Yeah? There's someone here. Will you come down with me? I don't like the look of them.
not expecting anyone, are we?
No. Hello?
Hello, love, is Chris in?
No, he's not in.
What do you mean he's not in? We've come to do the job, he must be in! The blanket! Get a blanket! Move down! Down! Get down! Right, come on, let's tie him up. What are you tying up? The rope! Right. Lie on your stomach.
I can't!
I said lie on your stomach! All right, give us your hands. Give us your hands. Right, now, where's the safe?
No!
Both of you, where is the safe?
No!
There must be a safe. I know there's a safe. Yeah, look at that room. Oh, come on, love. Where's that safe?
There's no safe.
Where's that safe? There's got to be a safe.
Here. There's no safe.
Where?
Take my watch.
Never mind your watch. Where's...
There's
what?
cash upstairs.
Where?
Dressing table.
In the dressing table?
Dressing table.
All right. Where's Willie? Dunno. Right, where are the keys? The keys to the Porsche.
I haven't got them, husband's got them.
Take mine. They're in the fruit bowl in the kitchen.
Willie, go and get them. Now, don't call the police.
We won't.
Don't worry, love. Just think of the insurance, eh?
You alright, love? Yeah, nearly got loose. How are you, love?
I can't do it.
Oh, I must get to the other phone upstairs. Oh my God. Police. There's been a burglary. They've just left.
Put your foot down. Oh shit! Watch out! Look at that! Quick! Oi! In the back! In the back! Whoa!
Winslow to all patrols, observations for a white van believed involved in armed robbery at Bollinghouse Farm, Robbery. Over.
To Wilmslow, urgent. Yeah, I'm following this white van on the A538 through Hale Village towards Altrincham. Received. Down.
This is a private drive off the Hale Road at the north of Hale Village. One of the robbers was seen as he dashed across Hilltop, back into Hale Road, and then walked off towards the station. Ken Johns, how are the victims? It's a particularly horrid sort of crime, isn't it, in your own home?
It is. Fortunately, the girl has now had a baby daughter and she's fine. But she's been through a very traumatic experience, as have all the family. So much so that they've now moved out of the house and out of the area.
It seems a pretty incompetent gang. Let's come back to that in a moment. But where did they go when they split? Do you know, in Hell Village?
Well, all we know is that they went towards Altrincham. They went towards Delahaye Road, along Hale Road. From there, we don't know whether they took a taxi. They may have taken a lift. They may have gone to the railway station, and we appeal for anybody that could help us in that matter.
The van was stolen, as we saw, in mid-October. It disappeared then for 6 days. You must presumably want to find out where it was until Tuesday the 20th of October.
The main source of interest is that when this van was stolen, it had on it some stickers. It had an Italian flag on the bonnet of the vehicle, and also had a Costa Pure Coffee sign on either door, and these were missing when the van was recovered.
Now, the robbers themselves, we've got quite a good description of one of them, I gather.
We have, and there was a good video fit of it. This man is 6 foot tall, he's white, he's 25 years of age, he's very slim, with a pale, long, thin face. He had curly, untidy hair, and was wearing untidy working clothes.
That was made with a BBC graphics artist for Crimewatch. Apparently when one of the witnesses saw it, it was made by one. When the other saw it, she was absolutely astonished at the likeness.
She thought it was such a good likeness that it made her shudder when she saw the picture. She was very impressed.
Tell us about the string that was used to tie up one of the women.
The string is very similar to cord used on curtaining, and it's been doubled up and knotted for strength. It's particularly unusual.
Somebody might notice that pattern of using string. I said that the gang seemed pretty incompetent. They were in a number of ways, quite apart from drawing all that attention to themselves.
Yes, it was not a very professional job. They came looking for a safe in the house. There was no safe in the house, and they didn't get very much money from that job.
There is a reward, isn't there?
There is a reward of £1,500 for any information that leads to the arrest and conviction of the offenders.
And I take it you're not going to be too fussed who you give it to, provided you get the information.
I just want the information. I don't care whether it comes from the criminal fraternity, from the family of the offenders. I just want to clear this job up.
Right. Well, the number to ring, as always, is 01811 8055. You can, if you prefer, ring the Chester Incident Room. That's 0244 313 131. That's 0244, the code for Chester, 313 131.
Well, on the Lynda Hunter case, we've just heard that we've had an anonymous call from a man who says he saw 2 men in a car very much like Lynda's, the Cavalier on Tebe, and were trying to sell a seat cover from it. So if that man could phone again, please, and give us more information, that's obviously quite crucial. Please do call us again. In fact, I gather it's been quite difficult getting through at times. The lines have been quite busy, but we are here till midnight. You could write to us at Crimewatch UK, BBC Television, London W12 8QT, or contact your local police. And tonight's phone numbers are going to be on CFAX on page 186, if you have that.
We'll be back, hopefully, with some more results in just over an hour. That's Crimewatch Update at about 11:25. There'll be more news then on Open Air tomorrow morning at about 11:45. Do, of course, join us in the new year when we'll be back on Tuesday, the 12th of January. Meanwhile, have a very happy and crime-free Christmas, and, of course, sleep well. Good night.
Good night.